Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me here today. So my story starts where most good stories start, in a club. I was 22, I just moved to Miami after graduating college, and I signed with a modeling agency. Found myself enjoying the nightlife scene, which goes with the job. And one night I'm out with my promoter friends and the client, which usually means an older guy with money trying to party with younger people. The client notices the table next to us has more bottles, girls, you get it. So in an effort to make it known to the whole club who the real big baller is, he ordered more bottles than could fit at the table. The girls came, the sparklers came, he got his 30 seconds of attention, and then he asked for the check. We didn't drink any of those bottles. A girl came with an iPad, he signed it with his finger while talking to me. It was for $120,000. I saw that, it's bright, the club's dark, the iPad's bright, stared at it, and I don't come from that world. I've seen spending, we've all seen spending in the movies and whatnot, but this is the most I've ever seen. South Florida is one of the largest nightlife economies in the world, especially here in the United States, where nightly consumers spend ridiculous amounts of money, and that was just one instance where I witnessed it. I work in TV, and fast forward to the very next day, and I'm in Thailand shooting a commercial. And Cambodia is just a couple hours away on a bus, so I'm going to take the bus there, and I wanted to see Angkor Wat. It's this temple, been there for thousands of years, it's amazing. I get to the border, and it's not my first time visiting a second or third world country. I've seen poverty, I've seen begging, and I've seen the upcharge by locals to Western travelers due to the well-known gaps in our wealth. But what I saw next was, by far, the worst scene I've ever witnessed in my life, and it definitely changed my life forever. Our bus arrives, I start walking to the hotel that I'm staying at for the next few days, and I sat next to an older gentleman on the ride there, who's from England, super nice guy, chatting about his travels, just passing time on the bus. He worked for an online poker company, and he was there for a tournament that was at the casino. So we arrive, and it's a bustling area. Tourists are coming through. There's carts selling snacks, drinks, taxi drivers that aggressively approach you, offering rides. Pretty basic scene, honestly, for that kind of setting. The poverty is right there. It's blatant. It's right in front of you. That's just the way that is. And that's it. You're there. First thing that happens is I see a 6 or 7-year-old girl, and she's holding a baby. And as far as I'm concerned, that's a baby holding a baby. That's one small child taking care of another small child. That's crazy. They start singing a song. It's super cute. They hold their hands out. You get it. They're begging. While that goes on, Big Brother's on this side. He's got his hands deep in my pocket, reaching for whatever. It's all worth something. I have to grab his wrist, obviously, and I give him $5 and I'm not mad at any sort, it's not a malicious crime he's trying to commit here, it's survival. They run off, and I've probably been in this country now for about 10 minutes tops, so a lot's happening. Next thing, keep walking, couple feet down. Middle-aged man, smoking a cigarette, looks at me and the English gentleman, we're clearly foreign, and he says, "Hey, young man, you like boom boom?" And he tried to sell me a young girl, maybe 16. Maybe you can tell already, I'm a pretty laid-back guy. I don't get too worked up over stuff. I definitely got worked up over that. He continues, he's selling. He's a businessman. He keeps it fast. You've seen a car auction. It's like that. He pointed to a younger girl, maybe 12. Maybe I like a younger girl, he says. I'm losing it. I'm flipping out, trying to figure out the situation, what I can do to obviously fix the situation. I guess he can't tell that I'm upset because next he offers me a middle-aged woman, maybe 40 years old, whatnot. As I engage with this gentleman and get pretty heated, thankfully I befriended the English gentleman on the bus because he grabbed me, restrained me, and let me know that you don't want to end up in prison in Cambodia. you guys would never hear about it. No one would hear about it, and that would be the end of that. I proposed some ideas. Let's purchase them. Let's bring them to a police station, a church, anything. Let's fix this. There's got to be something, right? I took his advice, which is probably good, honestly, and we walked away. I left the situation. That was it. I don't know about you guys, that ruined my day. I couldn't just go out and enjoy Cambodia that night. Like, no, that's not how that goes. I stayed in that hotel room that whole night. I'm not one to journal or anything like that. I wrote that whole thing down. I had to. That was crazy. Like, that's insane. So I'm pretty disturbed. That's a wrap on that day. I'm in the hotel. I got to go out and get some dinner. So later that night, I go out for a walk, get some food, see the same guy, see those 3 girls, well, the 2 little ones and the older one. But it's different. It's completely different. They're all huddled around a fire, cooking a bowl of rice, and had a container of some dirty water. And the body language was way different. This wasn't what you are thinking now, maybe like a pimp and prostitute relationship at all. This was a husband. This was a father. Those were his 2 daughters, and that was his wife. And that's what they had to do every day to get a bowl of rice and some very unsafe water for their whole family. And that doesn't seem like any way for anybody to have to live their life on a daily basis just to survive. So now in the span of 72 hours, I've seen how the top 1% lives their lives and spends some money, and how the bottom 1% spend their day trying to survive. And the contrast is hitting me very hard. And I think it's quite irresponsible as humans, honestly. And I say this because the water crisis, it's not like some disease that we're fighting and we're researching to find the cure. There's many solutions out there, but not enough money for everyone to afford these solutions. It was from this very high contrast situation that I began to dive in on research on the water crisis. There's so many layers to this, there's situations in urban communities, rural communities, remote communities, highly populated communities. The water crisis affects every continent. It was then I learned the hard-hitting facts and slowly learned that besides the water crisis being the largest killer in the world, it affects marginalized demographics the most: women, children, those living below the poverty line. And I wanted to find a way to connect 2 demographics that have no idea how the other live and redistribute wealth in the form of clean water. That doesn't look like something we should drink, does it? So I was trying to think of what I could do based on my experiences and based on my network and my community to solve this problem. This was my idea. Eventually, I was thinking about the markup of alcohol at bottle service, and at best, the water on the table, Fiji, Voss, Evian, all which you can find at the corner store. So not really a luxury goods product. And after some days of brainstorming with our team, the concept, the brand, the name, etc., we came up with the idea to sell a $100 bottle of water, which would provide 25 years of clean water to those most in need. $100 sounds crazy for water, but the markup is the exact same as the alcohol at the club, and it's actually helping people. Same bottle of alcohol at the corner store, let's say $40, thousands of dollars at a club. Same product, same exact product. We all know that everything has a price, but not everything has value. The value of this $100 bottle is that it helps someone most in need, someone at the bottom. Clean water is a basic necessity for all living beings on the earth. When you combine what you know with what you love, then you can find your purpose and your passion, I believe. And what I learned from my career in the fashion industry is that image sells, and that people are willing to pay a high price for exclusivity. But what I love is giving back and helping others become empowered. And I truly believe that everybody's greatness is relative, and that I'm not at my best until you're at your best. And we're all connected in that sense. So I launched my nonprofit, 100 for All, with the goal to make giving back convenient, classy, cool, and accessible for everyone. Everyone likes to have a good time, but why not turn a good time into a good cause? Why not help yourself while helping others? So the aim is to make giving back thoughtless and effortless. You were going to go out anyways. You were going to spend that money anyways. You were going to dance with friends anyways. What if every night all these things helped someone most in need? It's possible. We're doing it as we speak. Think of a social issue, maybe that's close to your heart. What if every night we could channel a small, not even 1%, a fraction of a percent to that social issue? How long do you think we would solve that issue you're thinking about right now? That person that you're thinking about right now? How long till that person got help and everyone else suffering that same situation? What if while you're flaunting your money on bottle service, you were providing clean water to someone simultaneously? What if disposable income had a social impact function? Isn't true luxury giving back to those in need? To me it is. So I created this business model to bring this to life. So whether you don't drink alcohol and prefer water, that comes with a luxury image, perfect. Whether you want to be seen drinking a $100 bottle of gold water for your status, for the gram, I want you to buy it. I want to make giving back so effortless that maybe through this simple idea alone, maybe we can solve the water crisis. Kind of large-scale idea, maybe kind of crazy, but it's happening one at a time. So if every 45 seconds someone's dying from water-related illnesses, for me, when I set out with this goal 2 years ago, I just wanted to help one family. That was it. I'm a very normal guy, come from very humble beginnings. One family. I feel like that'd be a great change. To date, we've provided 1.5 million days of clean water, and that's probably the most proud thing I can say about myself, honestly. All the fashion accolades and magazines, like honestly, that's helping people to me. This is in Bali. They just got hit by 9 tsunamis last year and earthquakes. That was after one of our disaster relief events. But everyday girls, not much different than some of you here, around the world spend 200 million hours daily collecting water for their families, missing about 400 million days of school. Half of the world's hospital beds are filled with people suffering from water-related illnesses. And that's a statistic from today. That's not years ago, that's right now. If you plan on living till 2025, an estimated 1.8 billion people will live in areas plagued by water scarcity, with over 2/3 of the world's population living in water-stressed regions. That's us, guys. That's our lifetime. It also takes about 12 gallons per day to sustain a human. The average American uses 158 gallons a day. According to the US Intelligence Community Assessment of Global Water Security, by 2030, humanity's annual global water requirements will exceed current sustainable water supplies by 40%. I turned my ideas into action through lots of research. I accepted early on that it would take time to read, to learn, and to become an expert in what I want to hopefully make a change in. My decisions would be slower and much more calculated this way, but I accepted that I needed to learn. I had to research about business activities, incorporating, legal structures, product development, marketing, community programs, everything, you can name it. Like one entrepreneur can't be good at everything, and you gotta ask for help. You gotta learn, but you gotta know when to ask for help because you can't be great at everything. I didn't have the funds. We're self-funded. I'm self-funded to make any financial missteps. Also, and that was a big part of it. I still read daily, and I meet with other entrepreneurs and learn from them, learn from others, ask questions, learn from their mistakes, share my mistakes with others. And if you want to know if your idea is a good idea, that's the best way to go about it. You'll find people really do want to help others with good ideas. Don't be scared to tell people about your idea. If it seems crazy, too big, tell everybody about it, honestly. You'll find out. I'm not a hydro engineer. I don't have my MBA from a very prestigious university. But I do firmly believe that we all have more opportunities and power to change the world than maybe we realize. I encourage all of you guys to not dismiss any of your ideas and big goals or dreams that seem unattainable or too large scale. I encourage you to use your interests and your passions and turn them into action. Your generation has access to more information than previous, making you more aware of the problems and also better prepared to find solutions for these problems. I encourage you to control the diet of information you consume as well. We all know that most of us now consume most of our media through our phones and even news through social media. What are you watching every day? What are you putting into your brain every day? It could be helpful. It could be for leisure or other. But it's at your hands. It's at your fingertips. There's a previous speaker talking about social media and Instagram. I wholeheartedly support the positive connections. Our partnership in Nicaragua, through Instagram. The 10 schools that now have clean water in Bali, connected through Instagram. It's just a platform. If you guys are the experts and you're the generation that has had this the longest, be the experts. Use it for what it can be. In 2008, the housing market crashed. And a team of 4 investors predicted this, if you guys have ever seen The Big Short. They made billions of dollars betting against Wall Street. Those 4 investors now all invest in water and have for the last 10 years now. Because water is the most abundant and most scarce resource on the planet. And we need to treat it as such. There's lots of layers to this, domestically and abroad, but there's solutions to it as well. So I hope you guys feel like you can seek out your ideas and your passions. Everything is crazy till it's done. And honestly, changing one life because you tried is much better than not changing that one life because you were scared that you wouldn't help everyone. Thank you.